Does it feel like you were just out here the other day?
Well, it was a bit of a peculiar year, that's for sure. But it doesn't feel like a typical year, but nothing has been typical. So excited to be back on the field, have the players back in town, starting to reshape our group, and hopefully working towards another good long season.
Leading up to last season and even during it with the weird spring that you guys had, you talked so much about how the team was in tip-top shape and it was kind of a unique experience. How is this one unique in the sense that it's such a shorter one than normal?
Yeah, I think probably the key will be a little bit different this year. Last year we came in July and we played until November, and then we turned around and we started again in January and we went until mid-May. And that's a really long season. I don't think, you even look at the basketball teams in college, I don't know that anyone's played that length of season before. So for us, making sure the players had some adequate rest following the national final last year, and then got back to it and get themselves focused and fit. We did some testing yesterday. The testing was quite good. It's quite positive. Our group's in a really good place to start the preseason. So now it's a matter of putting those building blocks together. And we feel very good about our group. We have 10 of 11 starters back, and we have some kids that were injured last year that are back, and we brought in a pretty good recruiting class. So I think we have probably more depth and more quality from top to bottom than we've ever had. But it will be different managing the group this year because of the length of the season last year and not fully understanding all of those physical and psychological aspects that went with playing such a long year last year. So we're going to really have to do a lot of communicating and be cognizant of those different elements and making sure that we're not putting them at risk of injury or burning them out.
How connected do you think you talked about the quite good conditioning? I mean, I'm sure it's normally quite good this time of year. Is it maybe even better because of how recently you were playing a season?
Probably. One of the things you have to, of course, concern yourself is overtraining, right? Do the players work so hard over the course of time that at some point they're going to lose their way a little bit because they've been training too hard for too long? And I think at this point we feel as though we have a really good handle on where they are physically. And now, as we were all discussing yesterday with the strength staff and nutrition staff and the medical staff about making sure that we're doing enough but not too much, and making sure that we're keeping them sharp, and again, more is not better. It's about quality and not necessarily just quantity.
You spoke of your freshman group. Can you just talk a little bit further about what they bring to a group that obviously returns a lot of experience and veterans too?
Yeah, on paper I think we have a great freshman class. This was the first chance I've had to see them really get after it a little bit and play with and against each other. So, and we haven't done anything with any bigger numbers. So what you saw here with a little 4v4 small-sided is really the first opportunity they've had to compete. Probably I'll know better in the next couple of days, but I think that there's going to be a lot of freshmen that are going to make significant impact in the team. There'll be some that probably are starting, and others that will be coming off the bench and helping to contribute to the team. So, I think the one thing that we know is our team still isn't whole, right? So Gabby Carl is still over in Japan, and her countrymen are competing for Olympic gold, which is wonderful for them, and happy for Gabby, and she's going to come back here with a nice Olympic medal one way or the other, and proud of her and thrilled for her.
You talked about how much you're bringing back. You bring back, I guess, when Gabby's back, everyone that was on that team last year?
Except McFarland.
Oh, except
so McFarland signed
yes.
to go and play in Holland as a pro.
When you bring back so much, and with the way last season ended, is that a talking point at all, or is this kind of you trying to approach a clean slate and not dwell on the ending of last season?
I don't know that the ending is the talking point. I think the talking point here is we're Florida State. We built a very competitive program, and the goal is to compete for a national championship every year. So, I think whether we won or we lost last year, it wouldn't be really that relevant because it is a new year, it's a new schedule, it's new competition, new dynamics within the team. We're feeling very good about the quality of the players we have. There's no shortage of talent. Now it falls to us as a staff to try and get the best out of those players and put the unit together that will compete the most favorably. And right now we have a whole lot more questions than we have answers, but the one thing we know is we have talent. There's no problem with that. We got a lot of good kids, and now it's just a matter of seeing if we can get them all to fit together. There were times last year We played absolutely beautiful soccer. You could see the cohesion in the play and wonderful attacking play and good collective defending. But again, it's a new year, it's a new team, it's a new beginning, and we're hoping to get some of that form back. But don't know that yet. We'll know better in a couple of weeks, that's for sure.
Coach, obviously playing mostly league games last year until the tournament, you played some of the best competition soccer's got to offer in college. But regardless, are you still happy to have that out-of-conference slate again? And, of course, as tough of a schedule as you guys have put on yourselves.
Yeah, we've once again, I think, challenged ourselves in a really favorable manner coming right out of the gate. I mean, Texas A&M for a lot of years has been a top 10 team, and they have a talented team, a roster with a lot of returning players that are quite good. My old assistant, Wes Hart at Alabama, the last time we played them, they beat us, if I remember correctly. So I think that maybe we're going to have to have a good performance to be able to beat his group as well. But when we look at the schedule that's been assembled for a more geographically friendly schedule, I think that we have a really good collection of opponents to play, and it's going to be upon us before we know it. So, a lot of the details we're going to have to get to. We're going to have to get to them quickly, and then make whatever adjustments are necessary.